What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of On the Break. I got Chris here and myself, Trevor. So today we're going to be talking about one of the greatest point guards to ever play the game of basketball, Stephen Curry. What makes him so great? We're going to look at a little bit of film and kind of break it down and look at some things that some people may overlook.
Well, yes. So got some clips here that we put together, and basically all of this is just showing here. Just starting out. This is just showing why people are so, or why he has that effect on defenders. Because he has the ability to create off the dribble, has the ability to drive the basketball, run the pick and roll. He can do all of these things, and these are just some examples of what happens when you don't play close enough or you don't send enough bodies at him. He'll just basically score at will. He'll have 50 points every game if you drop too far back. But getting on into this after this clip here, we'll go ahead and get into it, and then we'll go ahead and talk about his gravity. But like here, Bradley Beal plays too close. That's an easy shot for him. He's mastered that floater.
Mm-hmm.
Universal pole.
Let's check it out. So right here, right? First clip. So let's see. He's about at the elbow, and let's go ahead and play it through and see what happens. So he's gonna let Lee come up. Okay, so basically just a pin down for Steph for Draymond. And that's one of those things, we talked about a lot where can't find our face cam, but how we talked about a lot how like Draymond needs Steph and Steph needs Draymond. Obviously, Steph is the superstar here, but this one right here, I believe, was a screen action. He's setting a back screen for Kelly Oubre. And I believe, Harrison Barnes is the low man. So, yeah, you can see,
Yeah. So right the first thing I want to point out is stop right here. Like, honestly, Chris, this is an underrated part of Steph Curry's game. How he plays off the ball. And he's a great screener. Like that is one of the most underrated parts of his game. His ability to set screens for his teammates, and which a lot of the times when he's setting a screen is going to come right there for him to come off of. It's like a screen-to-screener type action. So this right here sets up a lot of confusion because Oubre's, man, when he gets screened by Steph, he has to play high because Steph is going to try and run to the three-point line. So he has to play high, which opens up a lot more lanes for a lot more people. Now, they're focused on Steph. Harrison Barnes is. He's looking at where Steph is and trying to communicate that screen. Also, he doesn't want to give up a layup to Oubre. So that gives the cutter open lane, So Steph Curry's ability to play off the ball, set screens, run off screens hard, it opens up a lot of stuff for a lot of his teammates. And I think that's a very underrated part of his game.
Yeah, and pretty much no matter how you slice it, every NBA defense, Harrison Barnes is the lowest man on the court here, the low man. So that's always going to be his rotation 10 times out of 10. And he's focused on a point guard setting a screen. Which is incredible because no other point in the NBA, I don't think really throughout history, you have a guy that shoots that good to where you're just giving up dunks to, guys 6'7" and up. That's easy. Well, he laid it. He almost missed it. But anyway, All right, let's move on to this next clip. So with this next clip here, looks like this is another screen action where he's coming down and setting a side screen right here for Andrew Wiggins. But again, everybody like these two guys, these bigs right here, most of the time, because if you go back, you can look and see that Evan Fournier was looking to force Andrew Wiggins towards the baseline. And you can see Vooch is down here, pretty much should be ready to help. But since Curry's up there, he just he goes brain dead and just, I guess he's just worried about helping on Steph slipping out of, let's see, I believe this is him in the corner. So,
okay.
Again.
So, again, Steph is a very lethal off-ball player. and everybody knows he can shoot the ball like tremendously well. So when Oubre sets the screen, both Steph's man and the guy guarding the screener, they get confused. They don't communicate, and they both go with Steph. So that's that gravity that we were talking about. That's his ability to attract multiple defenders because he's such a great shooter and such a great scorer. So that and having Draymond as the passer on this, like one of the better passers in the league, especially at the big man spot. Steph can pass too, but he does a lot of these little things that help his teammates get easy baskets just by running off screens hard and doing what he did like this.
Mm-hmm. And another underrated part again, Raul Neto is the low man here. So if there's anybody that's going to help, normally it's him, but he's just looking at Steph and he's 2 seconds late. No way he can even get to that. So Steph is just incredible as far as, and we'll talk about this in another video as far as how he can fit with other players, especially superstars. That's what Steph is, the ultimate ceiling raiser, the ultimate one. So this is just, again, pick and roll. Now this one's pretty interesting though, because it's a hockey assist to Steph. So there's really 3 people looking at Steph, and this a lot, penetration right here. Joel is out of position, wide open. But as far as I'm concerned, that's Steph. That's all Steph. That's all Steph. And you go back a little bit one more time. Just see, they're doing what they're supposed to do, because we already showed what happens when you just sag too far. They're ready, crowding the space, hands out. That's Danny Green and I believe Korkmaz. And then Joel Embiid trying his best to cover both. And Draymond is no scorer on his own, but in this perfect scenario, bam, easy pass, his specialty. Yeah. So gifted at the big man position to be able to make those passes, because those are not easy passes to get it right in the pocket to lead you right into the shot that in a dynamic situation. So shout out to Draymond as well for his ability to make that happen.
Yeah. Just Steph's ability to pull the defense away from the paint, and also his ability to attract defenders, as I said before, it just helps his teammates out a whole bunch. It gets them, easy layups at the rim, and it just opens up the offense. And like we said, especially when you have a player like Draymond to, distribute the basketball and make reads.
Mm-hmm. Now, I just wanted to kind of finish this video off with a couple of clips of just some other things that Steph does well as far as scoring the ball. And then, just to talk about another thing. So as far as this whole MVP thing with Steph, right? So Stephen Curry as an MVP, I honestly think that he is one of the most valuable players in the league, not because he's the ultimate carry player or because he's the ultimate floor raiser, but because his team is literally, like, his supporting cast is literally that bad. Like, and when I say bad, I'm just talking about scoring. They're still a really good defensive team, but when it comes to putting the ball in the basket and reliably doing so, I don't really see this as a roster that is really built for that at all. Mm-hmm. Because, like I said, there might be some games where Andrew Wiggins might have 37, Kelly Oubre might have 30, but those are few and far between. It's not like it's reliable offense, So I feel like just off of that, he should be considered for it. But his limitations as a floor raising type of player make him different from all of the others. You know what I mean? Like who normally win MVPs that can kind of provide more than just gravity, where they can maybe pair really good gravity, maybe not Steph Curry gravity, but that with maybe some other elements like elite playmaking on the ball, maybe an elite post game, elite rebounding, defense. Russell Westbrook had that season with his MVP. He was doing all the rebounding, chase down blocks, and when locked in, really physical defender. Mm-hmm. But Steph, outside of his, shooting ability, which pretty much opens up everything else, he is a good finisher.
I was about to bring that up, man.
Yeah, but that would be a lot of people's criticism of why he can't get the award, because I know a lot of people are just going to sit here and say, well, he can shoot the ball, he can run around, he can attract defenders, but can he be a guy that can get 17 assists if he really wanted to on a game by just seeing open spots on the court? And to that, I would say no, just because he is small. He's never really, in my opinion, been good at analyzing and accessing the weak side of the court when it comes to like passing situations. Like when the load ups come, definitely more of a turnover prone guy. Never really seen him as like an elite guy to really like access the weak side. I mean, he can do it, but I do feel like it'll come at the expense of a lot of forced shots, turnovers, and just kind of rushed plays, whereas guys like Chris Paul do it with a lot more poise. And I mean, that's fine. Chris Paul can't do what Steph Curry does, but you know what I'm saying? Like it's a trade-off. So I don't think that that's a deal breaker. But for me, I would say I right now I'm still rocking with Jokic, but I definitely think Curry should be in the top. It really be in the top 5, to be honest, man, because this roster is just not built to really make the playoffs, and he missed 8 games and they went 1-7 in the games he missed. So for anybody talking about the record, you also got to look at that. You know what I mean? So like, what do you think about his MVP case and kind of where would you rank him among other guys?
I definitely think he's top 5. I mean, if you look at the Warriors without him and the Warriors with him, it's a lot different, man. It changes drastically. I think, last year they played a lot of games without him. That, I think that is an example too. They had, one of the worst records in the league last year. He did play in a few of those games, but if you look at this season, they're in the race for the play-in, and I mean, a lot of it has to do with Steph Curry being on the floor, man. I mean, that one game where they got tremendously blown out. I forget what team it was against, but like they really just almost like laid an egg. Like it just wasn't good, And the games that I've seen, especially in the close games, Steph is really the driving force in keeping them in those games. Of course, Draymond is a big help. Wiseman, when he was playing, he helped out a lot. Looney helps. Oubre, Wiggins helps. Having those players, they help. But at the same time, I think Curry is that engine that makes it go, because if he's affecting the game that, in the way that he does, with his shooting ability and his ability to, break down defenses, not just with his dribble, but also, running off those screens like we just described. I mean, it just opens it up for everybody. And you explained it in terms of defense. They're a very good defensive team, but the issue is on the offensive end. And to me, Curry has been the most consistent in terms of his ability to produce every night. I know Wiggins is there too, but I mean, outside of Curry, it's like on the offensive end, it can hurt a lot of the times if he's not on the floor. But going back to the MVP race, I do think he should be considered in the top 5. I do see what you're saying with Jokic. I mean, I think I agree with you there. For me, it's either him, Dame, Steph, or Embiid's up there too. But that's kind of how I see it.
Yeah, in so many different ways. But anyway, this video is talking mostly about, we talked about his gravity, but we're gonna do 2 more videos. One examining his defense, and the other examining his on-ball playmaking, on-ball exclusively, and show his strengths and some of his limitations on both of those 2 things. So, if you guys enjoyed the video, appreciate it if you helps us out. And subscribe to the channel if you would like to see more videos like this, and let us know in the comments what you think of this video and some stuff that we can explore going forward. And anything else you got, Trev?
Nah, man. Appreciate y'all for watching. Like Chris said, like, comment, subscribe, and we appreciate you guys.
Yes, sir. I appreciate y'all. Have a good day.
Yeah.